Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about febrile convulsion and its prescription writing. The lecture is in following outline. First, we talk about definition of the topic, followed by its details like etiology, pathophysiology, clinical presentation, diagnosis, and its pharmacotherapy. We will also learn about ideal prescription of febrile convulsion and a case study with an exercise of prescription and criticism. By definition, febrile seizures, also known as febrile convulsions, are defined as seizures that occur between the age of 6 months to 5 years with a temperature of 38 degrees Celsius or higher, that are not the result of central nervous system infection or any metabolic imbalance, and that occur in the absence of a history of prior afebrile seizures. Various etiological factors that causes febrile convulsions are as follows. As we all know, age is one of the most important factors as most of the cases are of less than 1 year, high grade fever, mostly more than 38 degrees Celsius, infections as febrile seizures can occur as a result of the fever that accompanies bacterial or viral infection, particularly human herpes virus 6, influenza virus, upper respiratory tract infections due to pneumococcus, gastric tract infection, urinary tract infections in the children. Fever can also occur as a side effect of certain vaccination, particularly after DPT and MMR vaccine. It also shows genetic susceptibility, and 10 to 20% of cases have positive family history. Now, coming to pathophysiology of febrile convulsion, as it mostly occurs in the young children during the period of their development when the seizure threshold is low. This is a time when young children are susceptible to frequent childhood infections and they respond with comparably higher temperature. Also, animal studies have shown the role of endogenous pyrogens like interleukin 1 beta, which acts by increasing neuronal excitability, which may link fever and seizure activity. Febrile conversion, clinically present as a seizure, which likely occur during the rising phase of the temperature curve rather than well into the course of the illness. Based on the clinical features, febrile seizures are divided into two categories, simple or complex. Simple febrile seizures are the most common type and are characterized by seizures associated with fever, which are generalized, usually tonic-clonic type, last less than 15 minutes, and do not recur in a 24-hour period. Complex febrile seizures are associated with fever and are characterized by episodes of seizure that have a focal onset, like shaking limited to one limb or one side of the body, which last longer than 15 minutes or occur more than once in 24 hours. There is also a term known as febrile status epilepticus, in which febrile seizures last longer than 30 minutes or intermittent seizure without neurological recovery in between the seizure episode. Febrile seizures usually occur on the first day of the illness, and in some cases, the seizure is the first clue that the child is ill. Most seizures occur when the temperature is higher than 38 degrees Celsius. Usually, child with febrile convulsion present with symptoms like fever, body stiffness, limb twitching, loss of consciousness, vomiting, and frothing from mouth. Now, coming to diagnosis of febrile convulsion, which is done by its clinical presentation, proper detailed history, and investigation. History tracking from the parents, particularly the birth history of a child, immunization history, past history, and the family history is important. Investigations like complete blood count, serum electrolytes, which include serum calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and sodium, blood sugar, as imbalance in serum electrolytes and blood sugar can precipitate seizure episode. Lumbar puncture for CSF examination is done to exclude meningitis and infections. EEG is done to measure brain activity. Radiological investigations like CT or MRI of the brain is done to exclude the causes of seizures like trauma and tumors in the brain. Now, coming to treatment part of febrile convulsion, the treatment approach depends on presentation. If the child presents acutely convulsing with fever, the goal of treatment is to treat the seizure episode with either rectal or intravenous diazepam. Rectal route is preferred over intravenous as via rectal route the drug is completely absorbed and it has 100% bioavailability. Even therapeutic plasma concentration of the drug are achieved within 2 to 4 minutes, which is as rapidly as intravenous administration. With this, the risk of needle injury while establishing intravenous cannulation in children during the active phase of conversion is also prevented. As we know, diazepam is a benzodiazepine drug and it has anticonvulsant effect by modulating inhibitory GABA receptors. It is also necessary to treat fever, which is main etiology for febrile convulsions. Paracetamol is preferred antipyretic agent to treat fever. Seizures may recur every time with fever, so every attempt should be made to see that children with history of febrile convulsions do not develop fever. External cooling of the body by tepid sponging or oral paracetamol are used for this purpose. Syrup paracetamol is preferred over the tablets as the age group involved is pediatric population. Also, these high-risk children can be given prophylactic rectal diazepam at the time of fever to prevent febrile convulsions. Around 2 to 3% of children with febrile convulsions become epileptic in later years, particularly if they have developmental neurological delay or if they have positive family history or the history of complex febrile seizures. This increased risk of developing epilepsy leads to use of anti-epileptic drugs for intermittent prophylaxis with clonazepam, clobazam, or sodium valproate. Though effective in preventing reoccurrence, long-term use of valproate has rare association with fatal hepatotoxicity or thrombocytopenia. Similarly, use of clonazepam or clobazam for prophylaxis can cause sedation and lethargy. Previously, continuous prophylaxis was done with phenobarbital, which had serious adverse effects like cognitive and behavioral problems, so it is not preferred now. So, the prophylaxis therapy should only be done after assessing the risk-benefit ratio for the given patient. We can also use alternative benzodiazepines like midazolam, which can be given by intramuscular, intravenous, intranasal, or even the buccal route. Or we can also use lorazepam, which can be given by intravenous or intranasal routes. Now, coming to the ideal prescription for the treatment of febrile convulsion. Let us have a look at each part of the prescription, which are superscription, inscription, and the subscription. Here, the superscription has doctor and patient details, which includes name of doctor, degree, address, and registration number, and patient details like name, age and gender, weight, address, and history of allergic reaction to any drugs are given. In the inscription part, which contains prescribed drug details and direction of taking medication. In case of febrile convulsion, rectal solution of diazepam 2 mg per milliliter is administered at the rate of 0.3 to 0.5 mg per kilogram. Repeat the dose after 12 hours if required. Syrup paracetamol 125 mg per 5 milliliter given thrice a day at the interval of 8 hours until the fever subsides. Subscription has signature of the doctor along with the date of the prescription. As we know, parent education and communication is also very important part. So, educate the mother regarding tepid sponging when body temperature rises more than 38 degrees Celsius and administer the syrup paracetamol 125 mg per 5 milliliter. We can also give rectal suppository of diazepam, which is available in the dose of 5 mg or 10 mg. Now, we will see the exercise of prescription and criticism for febrile convulsion. A case of 9-month-old male infant weighing 6 kg is brought to OPD with stiff body, twitching arms, vomiting, and frothing at corner of his mouth. He had high-grade fever of 39 degrees Celsius since one day, and the parents gave history of receiving measles vaccine 2 days back. This was the first episode for the infant, but he had positive family history of his father suffering from febrile convulsions during his childhood. The infant was diagnosed with febrile seizure and was prescribed following medications. Rx, INJ, phenobarbital, TAB, PCM, TDS. Critically evaluate the above prescription and rewrite the correct prescription. Answer for given exercise is as follows. Two most important things to check in the given prescription are the first is the format of the prescription and second is the pharmacotherapy prescribed to the patient. We need to check if each of the medicines mentioned in the prescription is indicated in the given condition. If yes, is it mentioned correctly? And if not, what is the recommended medicine that should be prescribed in the given condition? At first, criticize the incorrect prescription. So, the format of the prescription is incorrect as the superscription part is missing. Even the dose, duration of the treatment and direction to take the medicine is missing in the inscription. The follow-up and the patient education were not mentioned. Subscription part is also missing here. It has used brand name instead of generic name like Phenobarb for phenobarbital. It also shows use of abbreviations like PCM, INJ, TAB and TDS. Now we will check the pharmacotherapy prescribed to the patient. Here the drug of choice is incorrect. Intravenous or rectal diazepam is drug of choice for acute febrile convulsion. Phenobarbital is a barbiturate which has narrow therapeutic index. Therefore, it should not be used. Paracetamol should be given in syrup formulation for the infant instead of tablet as they cannot swallow tablets. Now, we will see the corrected prescription for the patient of febrile convulsion. Here, superscription with doctor details like name, degree, address and registration number and then patient details like age and gender, weight, address and history of allergic reaction to any drugs are given. In the inscription part, it has the Rx symbol with the rectal solution of diazepam and direction of use as mentioned in the ideal prescription. Syrup paracetamol along with the dose, duration and the direction of the use is also given here. The subscription part which has doctor's signature and the date of the prescription. Parent education and communication about tepid sponging and advising the mother for the use of prophylactic paracetamol in case of febrile illness to prevent occurrence of febrile convulsions is also mentioned here. Here are the references used for the lecture. Thank you all for the learning sessions of the prescription writing in febrile convulsion.